do. I was so excited to read something that happened this morning. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to say hello, everyone. Welcome back. I know that seems odd because I just said hello and welcome back. The thing is that when I set that in motion, I can see the comments that you make, and then I can respond to them in real time. Alrighty then. Well, here we are. It is Thursday. We are a week away from the end of September, and some pretty crazy, amazing things are happening. And I'm excited, obviously, to talk about them. And I'm so grateful to be back, and I'm so glad that you're here. And I think we should all celebrate. I personally am going to celebrate with another sip of coffee before I get started. So, the topic today is people say this all the time. We need to focus on the why behind the what. And that's a great thing to say. And how I've rephrased it this morning is that it really isn't the what. The what is the single focus point that gives us something to aim at. It's why we are aiming in the first place. It is why we are ready. Why there is something that has happened to either give us the impulse or confirm and solidify the resolve we already have to do a thing, to be a thing, to change a thing. And the why is what keeps us on track. It is so easy. Oh my gosh. Even if we are really good at single focus, and I don't know a lot of people who are, it seems, in this moment, even if we are really good at single focus, if we are really good at this whole laser thing, it is still very easy to get sucked down rabbit holes. It's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to lose our train of thought and chase something. And I'm not talking that whole squirrel thing. I'm not talking about people who are easily distracted. That's a whole nother category. I'm talking about the moments when you suddenly realize that we are all the way over here when where we fully intended to be was over there. And the astonishment that we have drifted so far off course is another way of distracting ourselves from let's get back to it. And that we wanted it in that moment is never not true. It's always true. We always wanted it in that moment. The question is, do we still want it now? Do we still want it now that the things have changed, now that some of the steps that we were looking forward to have been completed? Is the goal still the goal? Or is it time to do a little nudge, reset, add a thing, take a thing away, and make it current, make it relevant now? It's really important to look at the why, because it allows us to move faster and to get closer to the thing that we wish to achieve, because we get rid of the baggage. We get rid of the stuff we don't need. We get rid of the things that we thought were a good idea then. So the illustrations that I have for that today are slightly different from yesterday, of course, because a whole bunch of stuff has happened. And the first thing I wanted to say today was yesterday I had a strategy call at 8:00. I had the Derek Fage daytime Ottawa call at 10:30. Hilarious. I had another call, really quick, zip call at noon. And then I had a call at 1. And then I had an opportunity to review, reset, and discuss with my good friend Christine Shaken over dinner last night. So it was a very, very busy day. So here though is the distillation of what happened yesterday to all of the ideas and the plans and the strategies that I had in place. First call was to catch up with my wizard, my brainstorming partner, Barbara Munchop. And as we worked through all the things, and she'd ask me questions and I'd answered her, and so we both had the same notes to talk from. But things had happened since the notes were exchanged the day before. And so we were saying, okay, so this may not be that, but then in the conversation, when we're talking about this, all of a sudden that idea, and she's saying, can you send me this? And I'm saying, yes, I can. What about the other? And so even in the conversation, just ticking off the boxes that we had established, it was already morphing into something different. And the one thing that mattered most of all in that conversation was that we remained focused. We kept coming back to and saying, so do we still want this? And why do we still want it? What is the heart piece of this? What is the reason we came for that? Where can it take us? And how long, and with which tools to get us to the goal? And so because we already know that's how we want to attack this, we've got a couple of things, and we're attacking on all fronts to see, sometimes you try on something and you look in the mirror and you think, all right, what you want to do before you leave the house is turn around and look at it from the back. Just make sure. I don't know that the skirt isn't caught up in your pantyhose or whatever. Not that that's ever happened to anybody that we might know in public on a street at rush hour. So the reason we want to look at a thing from all angles is that if we add this, what does that change to all the other stuff? How many ripples? It's going to cause ripples. Do we like the ripples? Is this a good thing? Is it a good thing over here? Is it a good thing? And so that was the function of our call. And it was overwhelming in that it was really magical. We really had so many different pieces of this whole pivotry in motion concept laid out in terms of what do I get to do? What fun things do I get to do? The live shows on stage in front of audiences again, which I have missed so much, and which hopefully you have too. The opportunity to record some of that and then play that as teasers for other shows. The people that we've both been talking to over the last while to say, Abby's going to be doing something. We need to talk to you about that. And then setting those meetings in motion. So that was that call. And, furiously taking notes and coming up with new ideas and little suggestions and, writing down keywords and then because of course I don't remember why it's a keyword after. So I write down a little thing and then the Derek call. And the Derek call is part and parcel of pivotry, because in meeting with him last month, and we went on television, we went on live television together. First time together on live television ever. We've been to things, I've been in the studio watching him interviewing somebody and he's gone like this and he's seen me do stuff. It was our first time. No rehearsal, no plan. Who needs a plan? We said. And we went live so that I could promote the Fanaticon event in August because Lance Moran, who runs it, all of a sudden couldn't get away from all of the stuff he was doing to go and do the promotion with Derek. So Lance said, Abby, do you want to go on television? I said, I'm sorry, do I what? Are you running a fever, honey? When I got there, Derek said, why didn't we think of this sooner? And I said, I don't know. And we had such a good time. And after the time on camera, after the show, after all of his interviews and everything, he said, can you hang on 5 minutes? I want to talk to you. And when he came back, he said, okay, what do you think? Want to do more of this? but not to promote a thing, but to just do more of it. And I said, absolutely. He said, okay, I have an idea. I have an idea. It's going to take me a little while to put it together, but I'm thinking you and me improv, and I don't really know what I mean by that. And I said, oh, absolutely, absolutely, competitive improv. It's my bread and butter. And he said, competitive improv. And I said, right? I mean, anybody can collaborate. The idea is to bring out the monster in the moment. And he said, oh my God, yes. So we had that conversation last month, almost at exactly this time, in fact, I think. Yeah, no, a little, boy, 5 weeks ago. Okay. So then when he called me, he said, so what do you think? And I said, well, I definitely think we need to involve Ottawa, all the viewers, all the people, all the people who see us and know us and love us on Facebook and all the other social media platforms. I think we need to get them to give us the suggestions, because that's how improv works live, a suggestion from the audience, and then you have to do stuff. So the thing is, it's live television. You can't get it wrong, and there's no 7-second delay. And we only have 7 minutes. And we can only do it in the studio. Like, we can't pre-prep stuff and have video of us doing something ahead of time. No, this is really short. And so I said, okay, I'll post it. He said, okay, I'll follow up with instructions. So at this moment, as I'm talking to you now, we have like 30 ideas flooded in. And some of them are insane. I mean, truly insane. Assemble something from IKEA. I replied, and then 3 other people replied, in 7 minutes? Okay, better be small. How many Allen keys do we get to have? And because the 2 of us are going to do it, not together. I'm going to do one, he's going to do one, and we have to finish you see the potential here, right? You see the potential here for utter madness. So that was the second call. The third call had something to do with all of the legal and the financial stuff that I'm managing and I'm juggling in order to bring to close all of the loose ends in the wake of the loss of my dear, sweet, wonderful friend, Dave. Now, this is high octane, strategic, high octane magic, and then a coming to earth and a reset moment in that third call. And when I got that call and I dealt with it and I hung up because I had another call scheduled like right after that, I thought to myself, I had the opportunity to respond to that call with a totally different, layer of positivity and focus and wonder and gratitude and intention solidified because of the previous 2 conversations that I'd had. It's not that they reinvented it for me. It's that they were booster shots that clarified and solidified and colored it in bright shades and gave me very, very clear, new what if opportunities and all the notes that I'd taken. So when I was brought back to equally important in terms of the commitment that everyone is making with their time and their attention. I mean, my strategy person has a lot of clients, and that was a long call, and that required 1,000% focus. And then Derek has the responsibility, not only as host of his shows, he's the producer of his shows. The entire show is on his shoulders. His ideas have to be great, and they have to be doable, they have to be workable, they have to be practical, and they have to be magical. And so he has a certain amount of pressure on him, and he loves it. Nevertheless, there is responsibility there. It's not, throw the cat another goldfish. There is a real commitment and a professional intention in both of those calls that I became, it's like I became galvanized even more than I normally am. And then I had the serious business call, serious in a completely other way, upon which many other things depend. And it went very well. It went better, I think, than it might have. I hadn't planned that call. That call suddenly came, and I was ready for it, and I handled it. And I came away from that call, and I thought, there, all right then. Yeah, good, all right. Made notes. And then I got ready for my 1 o'clock call. My 1 o'clock call was a client, a former client who may very well be a recurring, a returning client. Lots of important things that happened in the previous set of work that we did together. All of it, every single one of these things, the first call, the call with Derek, the business call, in the closing of all of the legal and financial and obligational details at the ending of a life, and now this opportunity. Every single one of those things is a pivotry in motion moment. It is a pivotry in motion illustration of how we use this ability we have all the time without even noticing it. Unless, of course, we have been made aware that we do it. We've been informed that every time we open a door, we scratch our ear. And then we're aware of it. Pivotry in motion is one of those things that we have just become. It's so habituated, we don't realize the skill we have to jump and focus and turn and be and respond and set in motion and jump and turn and focus and be and respond and set in motion and jump and turn. We have no idea how good we are at this unless somebody like me says, oh, look, want to see you do it again? And what the intention in this concept, in this program, in this idea of refocusing, making you aware, showing you where your gifts are, where your tools are, reminding you how you use them, showing you how to use them more efficiently, and celebrating all the stuff you had forgotten that you are just amazing at, in order to open the doors for you to your own layers of personal excellence that you've either ignored or forgotten about. And because of all of that, you have kind of lost hope. You've lost the magic. You've lost the wonder. You've lost the excitement. You've lost the curiosity. And we're seeing it all around us, this lack of engagement, this the combination of inefficient, unproductive, incompetent indifference that is impacting everything that touches us. Every ripple effect is shaped by that. And the only way we can fix it is if each one of us clears up our tiny square footprint. And then we look at each other and we're all clearing up our tiny footprint and taking ownership of it, saying, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to give Abby the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give her idea a try. I'll spend a day. I got a bunch of days. I'll spend half of a day. I'll listen to her without judgment. I'll listen to her. I'll come to her workshop. I'll come and see her live show. I'll tune into another video. I'll tell my sister, my friend, my brother, my worst enemy, watch the video. And I will observe the reaction. And I will decide how much I want to invest in this, feeling better, feeling empowered, feeling connected, engaged, possibility surrounding me, opportunity saying, hey, how you doing? I will test, I will evaluate, and then I will decide. That is so much more than the, oh, I don't know, I couldn't be bothered. It's, well, you know what, I don't, I just, so much better. That one step, that one moment when, it's not that bad too. Hmm. It's interesting what she said. Hmm. Tell me more. Hmm. Hmm. That's the beginning. That's the opportunity. That's what I'm asking for. So when Derek said, we need to get Ottawa involved, I said, we need to get everybody involved in this crazy thing we're going to do. He said, we're going to do it every month, right? And I said, absolutely. He said, I got an idea. I have an opening on Friday, October 13th. And I said, you want to do it on Friday the 13th? He said, yeah, what do you think? I said, all righty then. And he said, we're going to need a name. We're going to need like a working title. And I said, yeah, well, how about what's luck got to do with it? He said, oh, yes. God's luck ain't got nothing to do with it. Nothing. It's all on intention and commitment and excitement and positivity. And let's give this a whirl. It's all about that. And encouraging the universe to say, that's entertaining. Let's give them another shot, see what happens then. This is the difference. This is what I want to talk about today. Oh, yes. And then after my afternoon call with the probable returning client, I went and had dinner with Christine Shaken, who if you're Ottawa based, or if you are in any way, shape, or form connected to upper echelon military or diplomatic or decision makers, CEOs, and whatnot, Christine's shop and her gift, her magic, she dresses women of power and influence, and she does a brilliant job of it. And we ran into each other way back in the day when I was doing television, and I was being glamorous, and I was interviewing those people of power, not just women, on CBC television. I had a weekly show, and so of course they were looking amazing. I had to look amazing. I went and shopped at her store, and we became immediate friends. Now that I've moved back to Ottawa and where I live, on a good day with the wind in the right direction, I can lob a bread roll at her store. It's like 4 blocks away. So we have lunch or brunch or dinner on a fairly regular basis to catch up and to talk about the way people are behaving, because retail is a really good barometer. Hospitality is an insanely good barometer. Show business is a brilliant barometer, because people come to buy, people come to eat, they come to pamper themselves, they come to reward themselves based on how they feel about themselves. And so in these areas where they're either customers or they're consumers, or they're active, interactive, or spectator audiences, we feel all the stuff that is coming from them. We feel all of the energy. We feel all of the indifference or the excitement or the tentative willingness or the enthusiasm. We feel all of it. And because of what we do, we have to get extremely good at this pivotry and motion skill set, because we must adapt and adopt and apply the kinds of energies and the interest and the intention and the conversation that can galvanize people and elevate them and celebrate them and hug them and help them feel safe and help them feel clever that they thought of coming to us. It's very complicated, because that's before we actually do the thing we do. That's the how. and excuse me, and the how we do the thing we do is based on the why in this moment. And the why in this moment shapes and changes and updates and rearranges the what that we had in mind. When I did my little post this morning saying, I hope you'll join me, I posted the picture of inner child me, the 3-year-old me, and all through my childhood, all the way until all of a sudden I started looking like the person I was going to be. When grown-ups would say, and what do you want to be when you grow up, dear? I always said, taller. And the reason I said taller is because it was something I could visualize. In all those stages, there were things I couldn't reach. I was not tall enough in the first place to reach the counter. I was not tall enough after I grew up a little bit and I knew I could push a chair over and figure out how to stand on the chair. I wasn't tall enough to reach the cabinet above, and so on and so on. Incrementally, things I wanted continued to be out of reach. And for a very long time, I thought the answer was that I had to be taller in order to have it within my grasp. Taller was a logical answer for a very young person, for a very innocent person. The real answer is ready. I want to be ready. Not ready, I want to be ready. Because if I'm ready, and I know I'm ready, everything is possible. Because I'll go figure out how to get taller. I'll go find the people to give me the leg up. I'll go find the others to cheer me on, to keep me going. When I grew up, I wanted to be ready. That's what I knew when I was in my late teens. I want to be ready. How do you get ready? How do you remain ready? How do you stay on the balls of your feet, not sitting back on your heels? How do you do that? You do that by looking every day at the what, at the thing you wanted before. Every day. Do I still want it at all? Why? Why not? Do I still want a version of it? Why? Why not? Which version do I want? What has happened to me? Which ripple effects have come along to nudge my boat? What is my why now? And if we have no interest and no appetite, and we are indifferent, and we allow ourselves to gradually decline into incompetence, we end up doing and being and delivering the silly ass things that have been handed to me over the last 5 months by people whose only job it is to do that one thing well. And yet, it's not because of me. It's not because of me. They don't all get together and say, okay, we're going to get an email from Abby. Let's all mess with her head. They don't do that. That way is the way madness lies. They've just, it's not that they've given up. It's that they're no longer ready. They're no longer curious. They're phoning it in. They're going through the motions. They're not excited by the chance to make a difference today for some person who is grieving the loss. Here's the thing about grieving loss that is also part and parcel of what happens that shifts our value of what. When we are grieving a loss, we are absent from our day. We're over here looking back, thinking of all of what might have beens and all the things that were. We are no longer present taking care of this. If we are here, we're giving lip service because we may be here in body, but our heart and our soul and our energy is over there. And everybody knows it. No one is fooled. And the outcome is ho hum, mediocrity. And then let's add a layer. When we suddenly realize what we have done to these people who did not deserve it, then we have guilt on top of loss, grief, what might have been, and so on, and loneliness and fear and loss of serenity and safety and sanctuary. In addition to guilt that we did something that those other people didn't deserve. And now we're tired and we need to go home and lie down, face down on the kitchen floor because the tiles are cool. And we're still not present. It it's overwhelming unless we take that little, the doctor's little hammer they use on your knee, bonk, to see about your reflexes. We all need one of those. We need to go bonk every so often. Not hard. We don't want to make a divot. Okay? We don't want to have to say, oh my God, how am I going to get rid of it? No. But just to get our attention, our own attention. We don't need to hand it to somebody and say, would you mind hitting me over the head with a hammer? No. That is open to so much different interpretation in terms of delivery and execution. When they come at you like this, you needed to tell them more. So that's why we do it. Wonk. To say, what? Oh, yeah. What did we want? Why did we want it? What was the desire triggered by? What was the story we were told that we tell ourselves? Now that we have time to think about it and sit back and think about the context, was the story true? Was the story actually about us? Was it a story told by someone else that they had been told that they never validated? And was it about them or the previous people, or is it even remotely about us in the first place? Have we just accepted it the way they may have accepted it, the way they before them may have accepted it? And did it get altered in the telling along the way? You know how that goes. What story are we fulfilling by saying, I want this? You know what's remarkable? Speaking of, what story are we fulfilling? Being a military brat is a different kind of challenging childhood experience. And the reason it's a different kind of challenging childhood experience from a civilian, from, let's say, your parents, the people who are making the decisions on where you live and where you go to school. Let's say they have to move. Maybe they're in sales. Maybe what they do is they're away for a few months and they come back, and maybe you can go and maybe you can't, and therefore what do you do with it? That's civilian life. Military life, not only are you suddenly uprooted without any real advance warning to speak of. It's not like, we're thinking we might move in a year. No. No. Sometimes you're told today you're moving tomorrow. And your stuff will follow. Meantime, here's your ticket. What's your hurt? And so for the child, it is a time of chaos. Because for the adults, they have become accustomed to it. They are old enough to have prefrontal cortex cause effect, see the long game, see the big picture, see why this is not going to be that bad, because as soon as we do this, we can do that. Kids don't have that. That part of the brain hasn't developed yet. It's like a dog when you leave in the morning, the dog thinks you're never coming back. Dog doesn't have past and future. It only has present. Where are you going? Why am I not coming with you? Hello? Are you coming back? Like the kid in the shopping center can't find mom or dad, right? Same thing. Terror. Okay. So that is every military child's childhood. Over and over and over. And it is never explained and it is never clarified. All that happens is that we get familiar with it. Until we are in our late teens, we still have no real ability to understand the big picture and become okay with the cause and effect, to participate in the long game. We're not there. As a result, we don't have context. We can't connect dots as easily, as obviously as civilians who know why the dot, in a puzzle, there's a certain piece. When you see this piece, you see this piece, it goes like that. We don't have that. We don't have this goes here. We just have stuff. And you think, I don't know, do we just do it by blue and yellow or what? We have no clue, none, all the time. Like that never changes. No clue. People say, well, nobody does that. People say that to me today. Nobody does that. And I say, and how would I know that? Well, because, oh yeah, sorry. Instead of, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. How could I not know that? I know why. And I have to keep reminding people that I don't know why. You're so smart. Why don't you know that? Silly ass lawyer. We didn't send you an email to notify you because as the applicant, it is assumed you already know. What? What? Are you listening to you? I'm on the phone. Silence. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. That's what they do for a living. That's what they're saying to people every day. How could they not remember it? With a pen, write it down, stick it on your forehead. All of these things undermine our what? All of these things artificially shape and frame our what. It isn't until we say, I wonder why I keep saying I want that. I mean, I want it. Why do I keep saying that? Maybe I need to take a minute. I can see why I wanted it 5 years ago. But, why do I want it now? Oh my God, what if I don't want it now? Well, that means I could do something else. I don't even know what else I want to do. I've been fixated on this my whole life. So back to the military kid who says, the last thing I ever want to do, as soon as I'm old enough, the last thing I ever want to do is spend one more second held hostage by life in the military. Every military kid I ever met. Can't wait till this is over. Do you want to know something really interesting? It is a very, very, very high percentage of military children who, when they become of age, enlist voluntarily on purpose to be in that life they did not want. Why do you suppose they do that? Because it's the shortest distance between 2 points, because it's familiar, because familiar is comfortable, because decisions are made for you, because it's easy. You don't have to worry about committing to anything long term. It relieves you of responsibility. It gives you a pass. Is that what you want? No. Okay. Then why did you say yes? Why did you get up that day and go in and say, okay, I'd like to enlist? Why was that important to do? What did you say no to instead? And the answer is usually exhaustion and uncertainty. They didn't have somebody to talk to. They didn't have somebody to lean in with and say, I don't know how to do this. I'm useless. I have no skills. Do you have any idea how many? Think about this for a second. I was raised in the Canadian military. My entire childhood was shaped and framed by that life, by that world, by that framework and format of existence. until my dad retired. And then, because the universe has a heck of a sense of humor, I get on a TV show, and it is licensed out to the U.S. Armed Forces Network, which is a network of broadcasting channels beamed directly to American military bases worldwide. So if your family is stationed in the back end of where the hell are we, Stan? There is one dedicated channel in English, and you get to watch American programming while you are away from all the things you know and love. Yeah. So when that happened, when our show began, there wasn't a lot of variety on that U.S. Armed Forces Network at the time. And as a result, American military kids and their parents worldwide, all the countries, got to watch You Can't Do That on Television multiple times a day, 7 days a week. And then they came home after their posting was over and told their friends. And all of a sudden, kablooey. You Can't Do That on Television is the biggest children's television phenomenon globally. And there I am, looking the way I looked, doing what I did, being who I was, looking at the impact of, okay, not just the Canadian military, now the American military. Alrighty then. The military world, life, concept of community has in some way, shape, or form impacted every single thing I have ever done in my entire life. From the time I was born until this absolutely current, present instant, and the next one, and the next one, in this day, moment, time, now, here, has not ever stopped impacting every aspect of who I am. What do you suppose the chances are that I know how all of those former children think and feel and carry their stories and respond to the stories and live lives they think they chose, are doing what they think they wanted without really understanding why? How many of them do you know in your life? How many of them shop in your store, go to your school, work in your building, have kids who go to the school with your kids, play pool, play cribbage, go bowling, golf, vacation with you, masquerading as civilians? How many are touching your lives and influencing you, and their ripple effect is rubbing off on you? How many people are aware of the impact that I had as an actor, as a performer, as a creative person, contributing to a concept in entertainment that no one had ever done before? And my contribution was completely shaped by the military, by that life, by that world. Everything. How many people do you think you and me, making this decision, how many people do you think we can impact, encourage, support, cheer on, do the attaboy, if we become aware of our ability, our skill in pivotry, how we learn how we live our best lives, and how we use that to influence others? How fast do you think this indifference, this incompetence, this not showing up is ho hum. I was hoping the coffee would be hot, but it's not that bad. Gosh, there's nothing more swell than tepid coffee. Imagine if we shift that. Not change the world, not paint everything blue, orange, not that. Just what if we just do this? Imagine. Is that exciting or what? I'm a little impressed. The point is, and I hope you are, and I hope you are, the point is this: why would you do it? The question I want you to take away today when you watch this video is, why would you lean into your curiosity? If I've triggered your curiosity today, you're going to watch Derek Fage and I on a monthly basis. Pivotree in motion, in action, not only trying to do something we have no skill at, but compete with each other in real time to do it better on live television in 7 minutes. There's an adrenaline rush moment for you. And if you're watching, you'll have fun with it too. And we'll be posting it. I'll be posting it on social media. I'll be pulling clips so you can watch it. You're going to think, these people are out of their minds. No, we're not. You know why we're not? I'm going to tell you why we're not out of our minds. I'm going to tell you. If you look up Derek Fage, if you Google Derek Fage, Ottawa, and his last name is spelled F-A-G-E, first name D-E-R-I-C-K, Derek Fage. You Google this man, Ottawa. He has a TED Talk, a TEDx talk. You need to watch it. TED Talks aren't long. The title of his TEDx talk is My Relentless Pursuit of Happiness. And what you want to do is you want to watch that video so that you get to understand why he chose happiness as a pursuit. Because there were a whole lot of other options in front of him. And as each one presented itself, he said, yeah, no. And some of them were very, very, very persuasive. And some of them were very easy to have slipped into. And he ultimately said, yeah, no, I'm not walking there. I'm walking here. Because it mattered to him. And it mattered because he saw the alternatives. And quite frankly, Scarlett, they sucked. He didn't like the alternatives, and he wasn't willing to compromise and give in to those alternatives. It's not that he frantically chased happiness. He just said, that's my compass. That's my north. Where's my boat? Who's with me? And he is, without exception, the most delightful, centered, focused, engaged, grateful, eager to face each day person consistently, even when he's tired. He's lovely. And within all of that, and because of all of that, and the outcome of all of that, there is this extraordinary childlike wonder and innocence about the what ifs. Because he has chosen to say, I'm not fond of jaded. It makes me look old and tired and fat. I ain't doing it. It's not that he's simple and doesn't know what's going on in the world. It's that he is wise. He has seen what is going on in the world. You know what he calls his show? He calls it the little show that could. And he's been doing it for decades. Why? Because he's infecting people. He wants all the people around him to come away with whatever that is that he has chosen to lean into and be of and with. It's highly contagious. It's highly infectious. So is bitterness. So is defeat. So is indifference. So is apathy. So is anger. So is fear. All of it is contagious. Walk into a room, there's 50 people. One person sneezes. 49 other people sneeze. Eventually, they're not all allergic to something. You know what that is? It's protective coloring. It's the subconscious trying to blend in. We're all in the Serengeti, and if we're all sneezing, then the predator can't single me out as the person who isn't. That's what it is. That's mirroring. It's pivotry in motion. Leaning into the strongest energy for safety and survival. That's what pivotry in motion is. Leaning into the strongest energy and mirroring it is how we grow and change and thrive. And what most people don't realize is we are the strongest energy. We have all of that stuff. They just don't know it. And even if they did know it, they don't know where it is. And even if they knew where it was, they don't know how to go get it. Let me help you with that. That's what this is all about. So yesterday's experience of this and then this and then this and then this, every single one of them in their own way caused a slight shift in the why that was framing my what. And I knew it, and I made notes. And when I got to the end of the day, Christine and I had one of our really short 3-hour dinners. And I came home and I put my sore foot up because I'm still wearing a slipper on my swollen foot after I fell off a pebble. I said to myself, that was a day and a half, really? And I learned a lot. And it's really exciting because it's just marginally shifted, tweaked the focus, refiltered everything I know I want. And then I said, as I was getting ready to go to bed, and that's going to be the video tomorrow. It's not about the what. The what is a given. Somebody said, my child is so pretty and so clever. Yeah, okay, but that's the entry level. If you want to be successful in show business, that's the entry. We're not really picking a whole lot of unfortunate, slow people. It's a very competitive world. Oh, it's just that she's so lovely. Wait till you meet her. Yeah, okay, but they're all lovely. They're all lovely. The what is a given. We all have a bunch of whats. The why is how we make it happen in a way that delivers happiness. That is really the what. That is really the underpinning. We want to be able to say at the end of every day, yes. Don't we? Let me know if you don't think so. But I think that's what we want. I think that's what matters. I think that little inner child of mine, what do you want to be when you grow up? Tolerant. Why? So I can reach all the happiness there is. And I'm doing it. And I'm doing it no matter what, which is a whole other conversation, a whole other video. And if I have to, in the midst of my happiness, occasionally go up to somebody who's being an idiot and hit them with a fish, I would be more than happy to do that. Not a frozen fish, not a live fish, a recently thawed fish, still cold, so it doesn't smell that bad. Why did you do that? Well, it makes me feel so much better. Goodbye. So that's the video today. That is the video today. The what only works when we know the why. And the why changes and gets better all the time. So the weekend is upon us. Many things are happening. I hope all the circumstances in your lives are manageable, are fun, are challenging, are even if they're exhausting and a little incomprehensible. I hope that at the end of it you say, whew, all right, dodged that, owned that, spiked that. I'm going to sit down, put my feet up, put something cold on the top of my head because I want to be ready for tomorrow. That's what I hope is in store for you. That's what I hope you give yourself permission to make your priority. We are the only person with us all the time in this life we have, for however long we have it. We have other people, we have other influences, we have other energies, we have other wonderful things coming all the time. We are the only one with us through it all. So we might as well be good to us. No sense creating mutiny among the ranks. So be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones, what they go through with you. And I will see you next time. Same time, 10 o'clock, Abbey time, Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. You make it all worthwhile.